Sitting there in Wichita waiting on my load to go out here to Salt Lake City. Well, actually, I think I'm gonna go to the Carolinas now. But I want to touch base on something. Some people be in my inbox asking me things like about my daughter. How do I teach her how to work on things? How do I, just pretty much commenting on what it is that motivates her to get up and do certain things. Like, for instance, like push-ups and her exercises every day and shit like that. They want to know how that I started that. And actually, I got 8 messages yesterday asking me the same question, and it's better for me to make one video and just kind of send a link. She was homeschooled when her mom had a stroke here a while back. She was homeschooled, so she wouldn't bring nothing back from the school when the pandemic happened. So with being homeschooled, I noticed that every time I come home, she's sitting around on the couch, not doing anything. She's got her little tablet in her face and just sitting there playing on the computer. So I decided to tell her she needed to start getting up and doing at least some jumping jacks and push-ups and stuff like that. And I said, come on, we're going to do some stuff. So I showed her. And at that point, I think she was fixing to be 10 years old. So she got 1 push-up. I recorded it. I still have it. I think she got like 8 sit-ups or something, or 10 or something. So we made it into something fun. It was a competition. And when I come back, I want to see how many you can do. So every morning you got to get up and do this. And I'm going to look at you on my cameras. I got cameras throughout my house inside. So every morning she would get up and do it. And she could see that I was looking at her videos, because your kids want you to be interested in them. They want to do things that's going to make you praise them. They want you to be looking at them all the time. It's just like when they're playing. So when I'm asking about schoolwork or whatever, I say, hey, let me see your grade. What happened? Show it to me. What's going on? And I ask questions that I even already know the answers to, because I know that she is dying to tell me, especially when I've been out on the road for a while, she's dying to tell me all this stuff. The point is that every day I take very serious interest, and a lot of the times it's legitimate. It's sincere. Sometimes it's because I know I got to play that role and I'm tired, but I still try to, hey, tell me what's going on. Show me. Let's see. And I don't just make it about the things that I wanted to do, like the exercises or the schoolwork. I make that about 90% of it. But then sometimes I ask her about her cartoons or whatever, so that she knows that there's other things, she'll eventually figure it out. It's only that you're interested in, my schoolwork and stuff, and it won't be as attractive to her anymore, So what I do is I kind of mix it up just a little bit. I put her in Spanish when she was 4. She's been taking Spanish ever since, and now she's up to 80 push-ups a day. She does 20 in the morning, 20 a little later in the morning around noon, and another 20 so she just breaks them down. And eventually we'll move it up to 100 and then 120. And then when we get to 120, I'm going to back off and I'm going to have her do straight out 100 push-ups. When we started doing this, it was about 3, 4, maybe even 6 months, to be honest. My wife sends me a picture of my daughter's arms, her flexing. And it was crazy. It was this, I just put the picture up there. It's just all muscle. I mean, it was just crazy. Well, I won't say all muscle, but she looked like she was cut. And I couldn't believe, from just doing the push-ups and the jumping jacks and all that stuff, she had got like that. So I incorporated weights in it. I put like 20 pounds on a curling bar and got her a little brace to hold her elbows straight so she can curl. And I started making a bigger deal about it, like, look at this, man, I can't believe this, like it was just a real big deal. And the more that I did that, the more she wanted to show me she could do more. So now she's up to, 60 pounds on the curling bar. See, is that right? No, I'm sorry. That's not right. It's 35 or 40 pounds on the curling bar. And she does 4 sets of 10 reps. That's what she does. So then I put her in Taekwondo. And she started out, and I told her the importance of not playing around, and just because she goes in there and she started joking around too much and this, that, and the other. I want her to have fun, but there's an appropriate time for that, and there's not. When we out here handling businesses, I tell her, hey, we out here trying to eat. So you and me, you know, when we go to exercise, I tell her, come on, let's go eat. You know, and she knows what that means. So we're going to go work out. So I'll take her out back. She flips tires. She knows how to shoot very well. She knows how to take her little gun apart and clean it and put it back together, her little rifle. And her mom takes her out and they practice all the time. Working on the cars. My back is really jacked up. I got some, some dang discs that are messed up. And I've already taken the shots in the back and they don't work. And I got pain medicine that I have to take from time to time. So it's hard for me to bend over and do certain jobs that I used to when I'm being a mechanic. So I usually have her come out work. So I started teaching her what tools were what. And she can tell you any tool you ask her for within reason. I mean, you know, the basic stuff, the sockets, the deep sockets, the shallows, the ratchets, the drives, 3/8, half-inch, stars, Phillips screwdriver, crescent wrench, standard screwdriver, the channel locks, wire cutters, pliers. I can just tell her and she goes and gets them. It made it easier for me to teach her that. But then at the same time, as quickly as she picked it up, I started letting her do some small wrench work. And now it's all about the mechanics of her just learning to move. And you will be shocked at things your kids can do if you teach them. And you will be really shocked how bad they want to learn. I mean, really. You know, now there's some kids that are not, but you won't know until you try. And the sad thing is that there's a lot of single mothers out there that cannot do this. Now, what you can do is help them, teach them how to clean a house. My wife teaches my daughter how to cook. She cooks breakfast all the time, eggs, poached eggs. She can cook scrambled. She can cook whatever you want perfectly. Grits, all that. You know, she's even doing steaks and stuff now. You can teach them that, but for single mothers that have to work 2 jobs because dad left you alone with the kid, it's kind of sad because the time is not always there for them to do that. But when you do have the time to do it, take them with you, show them. You know, my wife always hangs out with me and she learns. She's eager to learn. They're both very eager to learn, which is, it's not always like that, I'll say that. But you won't know if you don't try. So make the effort and try to teach them and watch and see, because they'll take to it like water. Like a lot of times they're like, you know, hey, can we go do that today? Can we go work on this? Can we go do that? And just make a big deal about every little success that they do. Make a big deal about it. Make them think, wow, I really impressed him today, so tomorrow I'm gonna do better. If you don't do this with your kids, somebody else is going to. So let me say it like this. If you don't spend your time, you don't seem impressed with what they do, you don't give them something to do, you don't give them a path to go down and point them down it and walk with them a little ways so they feel comfortable, then somebody else is going to do that for you. And this may not be what you want them to do. Because it could be somebody that in a gang or whatever, and they're like, hey, come here, let me show you something. Oh man, you really stole on that fool. You really shot that fool. It could be that type of fucking, leadership. It could be that type of, your kid don't know who he is, so I'm going to let him know. That's your job as the parent, to let them know who they are. You know, to let them know, what they're capable of, and show them the certain things that you're proud of and the things that you're not. Because if you're not proud of them for what they do and don't give them something to be proud, for you to be proud of, then like I say, they'll go impress the wrong people by doing the wrong shit. And it has to start young. You know, it is hard to get a child that's 12, 13 years old, come on, let's go exercise. It's hard to do that. It can be done, but it's hard. And therefore, if you could do it while they're young and make it and organize it and say, hey, look, I need you to give me an hour and this is what we're going to do. After a while, it's, and it's always being there in her face. And, come on, you can do me 2 more. Come on. If you give me 2 more, I won't believe it. I mean, this is crazy. Anything you can do to encourage them, because when they get up, they're what's that, endorphins or whatever that thing is. I forgot what it's called. That makes you feel good, that gives you the natural high. They'll have that because of you. And the fact that you can give them that and you don't is sad. You know, it's sad. And I'm gonna tell you something. And let me say this: I have not been the guy that I am today. I've been the other guy that I'm talking to on the other end here. You know, I'm too busy trying to get rent, trying to get the house payment, trying to get the car payments, the insurance, fix the car, do this, do that, deal with my wife, arguing and fighting and all this other shit. And at the same time, trying to deal with my own issues that I got, my own mental issues that I got from some things that happened a long time ago. So I'm trying to organize myself. Point being is that you need to make that effort if you can. You know, I don't do nothing but spend time with my kid, and I'm at home working on things. And maybe that's just because you get older. I don't know. But I can reach out to the young people and tell them, hey, look, if you want your child to be successful, it is within your control most of the time to make that happen. But it has to start early, and you got to start. The things I did a long time ago in my life, I'm not out there in the street no more like that. I don't do no of that dumb shit. I've slowly worked my way out, hustled my way out, until now everything I do is legit. That was always my goal. And it was just to stay low key, hustle, do what I got to do, and keep the fuck moving on. That's it. That's all it was. And now that I've had that opportunity, I did what I said I was going to do. I'm a man of my word. I got the fuck out, and I ain't got nothing to do with that. All of my energy now is focused towards my kid. My child support's all paid off. My other two kids, they don't have nothing to do with me. Why? Because dad was always in prison and jail. And when I did get out, their mama just didn't want nothing to do with me. I had a problem paying my child support. I had a problem keeping a job. My attitude was all fucked up. I've learned a whole lot since. You know, I'm not asking you to take my word on what I'm suggesting you. I'm asking you to try it, and if it don't work, then okay. What else do you got? What do you got to lose? Ain't nothing negative gonna come out of that. Some of y'all take your kids to football. That's great. That is good. My daughter, she takes Taekwondo, and she comes home and she practices even when she's at home. Before she goes to bed, she does her little exercises. Then she gets on their little TV and turns on the program, the karate program, and does all of her basic moves. And then she takes a shower and goes to bed. We talk about the importance of showering before you go to bed, getting rid of the day's dirt off your face and everything. And she helps clean the dishes. She does chores. This is what she does every day. But and she's not scared to get scars on her from getting hurt here and there. She's just not like it. You got to build them up, because like I said, if you don't tell them who they're going to be and you don't show them what they're going to be, then somebody else is going to show them. You don't give them options. I told my daughter, when you graduate high school, you will have a toolbox, a mental toolbox of everything you need. You'll be able to speak Spanish. You got you graduated. You did this, and you got all these skills. And now it's your choice to do what you want. And if you took the discipline to follow those lessons that I've given you in life, then I'm sure that you're going to choose the right path afterwards. I'm positive of that. If you don't, then I can't. What can I do? I did everything. But there's so many times that we don't do everything. The other day, yesterday, we were working on doing flips on the trampoline in the back. I made such a big deal about it. I was supposed to change the fuel pump on my Fleetwood, but I didn't in my Cadillac. Instead, I told her, fuck that Cadillac, fuck that car. Let's go do the trampoline. Let's go work on it. That's what I told her. And guess what? She was so scared to do that front flip, and she did it. And she's doing them perfect now. And we're actually working on the back flip now. And that's a little harder for her, but she's halfway there already. So she can't believe she can do that now. That meant something to her. She will not forget that when she grows up. Do what was not done for you. Do that. It's better than spoiling them. It's better than buying them 100 toys. Sometimes it's just about spending the time and making them feel important. That they are very important, and every little thing they do is important. It works. Even when she does something bad, I just look at her and say, come on, man. And then she actually feels literally bad. Sometimes she'll even cry a little bit and go to her room because she feel like she let me down. You don't have to beat them. You don't have to whoop them. You know, sometimes you do. Them motherfuckers, some kids is bad than the motherfuckers. Some of them you got to pull a pistol on. but it just depends on when you're with the child, how long have you been there, especially your child. Since birth, it's easy. I don't have to do nothing but make a certain face or change the tone of my voice. Hey man, what the fuck? That's it. I don't gotta scream for everybody in the store to see me screaming. I don't have to do nothing. Sometimes I just turn around and I just look. And I turn back around and that is it. It's over. You have to start when they're young. It's harder when they're older. Okay? Some of y'all know I used to go out with the Urban League. It used to be for the Urban League. I would go out to schools and talk to kids. It's hard to talk to them badass kids when they 13, 14 years old, especially with all their friends. They trying to show out. They ain't trying to hear what the fuck you saying. They don't think none of that shit pertains to them. Get them when they're young and do what you got to do. And for you single moms, all I can say is do your best. And literally, God bless you, man, because I have the utmost respect for you single mothers. Yeah, I do. It's crazy. It is. I believe, you guys got a lot on your hand. You got to feed, clothe, school, and love them and do all this shit by yourself. It's not fair. It's not. Same thing with single fathers, but it's just mostly the single mothers I see doing that. They got to do whatever they got to do. Sell pussy, ass, put up with some sorry motherfucking shit because they need his help or they're constantly at work and not able to spend the proper time with their child. And I mean, how the fuck do you win that? I don't know how y'all do it. Some of y'all do it, and I don't know how. So that's my message.